deep sea in the grace, our creek balance. Thought split the sea, don't stream. In a world of black and white, we seek the blend. Understand both sides, let the truth transcend. Stay in the grave where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride. A long time ago we started stumbling. Feels like this country's crumbling. The government is fumbling. A Congress that is bumbling. Sides are always arguing. They all could use some humbling. And stop the world from tumbling. Rebuild the trust is plummeting. If ideas would start bubbling, our efforts could be doubling. And chaos would start slumbering. And people resume huddling. And talk about the trouble and concerns. We're always juggling. Cooperate while snuggling. And quit the useless struggling.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, everybody. Hi, Trey.
Feels like it's morning as long as we've been here already.
Hey, we had good, solid prep for the show.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, hope you guys are doing well. I want everybody in the world to be happy. Don't you, Trey?
Yes.
Yes.
And like and subscribe and comment.
Yeah, all right. This was a great show. Subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Actually, speaking of people feeling good, do you have a headline?
I was going to ask you. You're a drinker, right? So
I've been known to have a few.
This one's actually a double headline, same story.
Oh.
So first headline came up. It said, couple arrested for pouring margarita down butt at Mexican restaurant.
Hold on. Just down the butt. And
down the butt.
At the restaurant.
At the restaurant. There's pictures of it anyway. I mean, he's got her, looks like she's on all fours.
Is she pouring it down into the butt, or is it directly into the butt?
Well, and he's got her bent over, and he's got a glass of margaritas. But then the next headline, it says, man uses funnel to pour margarita down the butt, which that makes more sense.
Sure.
But
well, if she wants more of a direct hit.
What kind of planning went behind this? Literally. What kind of planning went behind this to bring a funnel into a Mexican food restaurant thinking, you know what? Tonight's the night I'm going to pour a margarita down my woman's butt.
Well, I have two questions and we'll move on because it's supposed to be just a headline.
Yeah.
My first question is why in the restaurant? Why not do this in the privacy of your own home? Number two is why? What's the benefit? Is there a benefit?
How did he have a funnel?
Was it a frozen or on the rocks?
Oh. Did she get a head freeze from it?
Okay. That's a perfect way to end that segment. Look, if there's some sort of thing that we did a story about it, when it goes up to your anus,
it hits you quicker, doesn't it?
Something hits you quicker.
Yeah.
But this was drugs we were talking about, and this is just, you're talking about alcohol.
I think we discussed alcohol.
There was something about the butt.
Yeah.
And we'll move
enjoy
on.
The butt.
Trey loves to talk about the ass.
Speaking of, no. We're going to talk about a movie I saw, but we can skip that.
But speaking of, next is Butthurt comments. So
perfect.
This one I'm going to do real quick because most of the Butthurt comments are, and rightfully so, about Trump and Biden and all the election, and everybody on each side yells. So I'm going to take a break from that tonight. I'm going to go with Tay Tay. We did a story on the last show about Taylor Swift being called out by Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters, yes.
Dave Grohl of Them Crooked Vultures. Dave Grohl of
Nirvana.
Nirvana, obviously, and Queens of the Stone Age. That's a lot of bands that have had success. So for these people, I get it. Because you're defending Taylor, but give me a break. This guy goes, I'm not even a Taylor appreciator. Can't even say fan. But this guy's a fucking loser.
David Grohl, really?
Okay. Dave Grohl's not a loser. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And he was just making a joke, people. Second, the Satan. I don't know what that means. I think it's because of his goatee and his long brown hair, like he looks evil, maybe. The Satan is the musical genius. Oh, no. So this person's referring to
Taylor.
Taylor is the Satan.
This is good.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
The Satan is the musical genius, and Dave is a death jab pushing sellout. I have no idea what this person is on or what they even mean. But the point is that Dave isn't what's a sellout. He was a part of Nirvana, which was like they created grunge in a sense. They were one of the first.
Right.
And he was a part of that band. You can say it was Kurt Cobain all you want, but Dave Grohl was still there.
What's the Satan comment with?
I have no idea.
Now,
we have to look that up.
I can tell you.
Swifties, we didn't say it. Somebody else called her Satan.
When I was younger, I hung out with a crowd that referred to me as the devil because I had blonde hair and blue eyes. Is that it? Does she have blonde hair? I know she has blonde hair, but she has blue
does
eyes.
the devil have known to have that, or is that
I don't know. I think it's
a
just
German Hitler thing? Or?
Maybe. I don't know. But
Maybe that's what it is. Blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't really care. We're going to move on because I just wanted, my point was that I don't care how much you love Taylor or how much whatever. Dave Grohl's the man. He's still doing it at 50 something. And
really, he's in his 50s.
oh yeah. And he was just making a joke. And I think Taylor knows that. And
Has Taylor come out and said anything?
she came out and did the right thing. She's like, I just want everybody to know that my band and my performers work their hardest.
Oh.
She didn't reference him, but I think
She didn't at
was-
least joke back.
You know what? I guarantee you Dave probably, there's pictures of them together all the time, like at awards and stuff. I guarantee you Dave got a hold of her and said, yeah, I was just fucking with you. And she's probably like, oh yeah, everyone's, and they're probably talking about everybody like these losers like us.
Now, side note, I think I told you about this before the show, but I think Kelsey, I found a story. Well, I saw a story that he proposed, but then I looked it up, fact-checking purposes, and all I can read is it's unofficially engaged.
Oh,
What the hell that means? So
did he get down on one knee and say, I unofficially want you to be my wife?
Want to marry you one day, and then he gets back up.
Didn't we do a story? He's making the engagement ring out of his Super Bowl rings.
He's going to use a diamond. I think
Maybe
there's
they
some
weren't
diamonds
quite.
out.
They weren't quite ready yet. Maybe.
What was our bet? Is that she'd be pregnant before
right.
football season?
That's right. Before football season was the overall bet. You were thinking June, July. I was thinking August, September.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Well, announcement.
Maybe that's why he proposes
there
too.
There you go. There you go. So keep your ears and eyes open, and if this is true, then we will give you lottery numbers. We will
Super Bowl winners.
continue to predict. And it's funny you say that because I do have a story tonight about predictions. So
Okay, cool.
you know what? Don't ever act like Trey and I don't tie all this in together on purpose. I wanted to mention this. This was a funny comment. So this wasn't a butthurt comment. This was funny and completely wrong. But I laughed my ass off.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
So this was the one when we did. God, I can't believe I'm even going to say it, but let's do it. What? It's our show.
It is our show.
This was the story about the migrants coming into France
Okay.
and how a certain percentage raped French women. 77% of rapes in Paris were from illegal migrants.
Damn,
right?
That's a crazy number. Yeah.
Crazy number.
Yes.
And I got into an argument with another person about it and whatever, but it's not worth it. He's not worth it. This dude goes, why even rape? French girls just give it away easy.
Oh, shit.
I was like, and I laughed, and then I was like, dude, I shouldn't laugh, but well played.
Damn.
It was pretty.
Don't they have hairy armpits over there, though?
That's
that old
That's
school?
the rumor, but I have not been with a true French woman, so I couldn't tell you. So,
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
would you sleep with a woman if she had hairy armpits?
How dark is it?
Well, let's say medium.
I guess it depends.
On a lot of other things.
Depends on how big her balls are. But,
I swear when you said it depends on how big her, I just assumed you were going to say something different, and you went with balls. So good for you. That's Butthurt. The comments of the night, I'll say, the Butthurt comments and that really messed up French one,
Yeah.
which I just thought was funny. I had to mention it. Kudos to that person. Let's go to news tonight. Dun, dun, dun. Eventually, we'll have a news
dun,
a news thing.
little bell or something.
There is a story out of Florida, Trey.
Of course.
And I don't want to get into the logistics of the fact that this is a trans teenager.
Oh,
because
shit.
that's a whole conversation. We've had it before. We can have it again. The bottom line is in this story, the teenager involved is trying to transition. She's 16. She's trying to become a male.
Okay. 16.
16.
Wow.
And her name is Julia Egler. Her mom, 38, and her mom's boyfriend, who is 22. Apparently, she had a problem with that as well. That's part of the reason
right there.
This. Yeah. So this girl calls 911 and she says, "Hey, somebody broke into my house and shot my mom and her boyfriend.
Holy shit!
Please hurry." Well, as you probably guessed, it was her. She staged it. It was fake.
Damn.
She and her mother were in, the quotes were, "We had many disagreements this week."
You think?
"So I'm going to shoot you." And she also was upset, of course, that her boyfriend was 22 and they'd argued about that. But the issue was her mom was not supportive of her becoming a boy at 16.
Was it because of her age, or was there another reason?
I didn't get that far into it. The bottom line is this girl said the mom was dead, so you couldn't talk to her.
Oh, so she died.
She killed both of them.
Wow.
The mom, apparently they came home and she said, "Welcome home," and she shot them. The boyfriend ran she chased him to the bathroom and she ran out of ammo. So she started stabbing him.
God.
Apparently he said, "Just put me out of my misery because whatever." And she reloaded the gun and shot him in the head.
God damn.
Yeah.
She's going away for a while.
Hopefully. It was a .38 revolver. Again, not a semi-automatic, so people can still kill with any type of gun, people.
So let me ask this. All joking aside, with the hate that's in this trans man, I'll give her that.
Trans...
Would you
Is it
throw,
a trans man? She's not changed yet. She's still...
But she's adamant about being a man, right? At this point, with the hate that she has in her heart, would you throw her ass into a male prison and just let them have their way with him? Because, she wants to be a man. She does something this heinous. Would you throw her in a fucking male prison?
That's both funny and serious. I can see both sides.
All laughing aside,
they won't. She's in juvie. She's not an adult. So right now she's... I know.
This is premeditated murder.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Sorry.
She's 2 counts of premeditated first-degree murder.
Okay.
That was my last quote from the story. And she...
I watched
but they're still... But she's still going to go... Yeah. Whenever we talk about this stuff, you're ready to roll. But she is in there. She's still in juvie until she's going to get. So I don't know what they do with 16-year-old. Do they put him in?
Depending on the crime,
she could go to jail.
They could try her as an adult.
She should. She killed 2 people, and her mom, and she should be in jail. She's psycho.
Well, I'm curious, is she going to still claim she's a man when she goes to trial?
Maybe we'll have to keep an eye on that trial, because that could be an interesting question. I would ask her, do you want to be tried as a man or a woman?
Because
I would choose woman.
I was about to say, because those men will destroy her. Man.
That's interesting. Yeah, man, you keep throwing last couple shows. I think you're starting to feel it.
But it's like
after 95 shows.
Would we feel sorry for her in that case?
I don't. Feel, anybody that can kill somebody, I don't feel sorry for you. The point of the story not only is just to give you the news, but it's this trans stuff is very. It's very serious, and the people that are on one side or on the far side, the woke side, I'll call it. I'm just going to say it. Are going to be like, well, it's because she hasn't had support. Well, bullshit. Anybody that's willing and able to kill has mental issues, in my opinion. I don't care what you're going through at all. If you can kill somebody and take life, especially your mom, I don't care what disagreements you had earlier in the week or whatever it said, we have to get a hold of this early when these are kids.
Now, was the mom or the boyfriend or anybody being physical or anything like that?
That's a good question. You still don't kill somebody. You report it, whatever. Yeah. But she flat out shot him and murdered them. It wasn't like she accidentally did it in defense. They walked through the door and she killed them.
And I think the only other thing, just to add on to that, is if she went out and bought the weapon, was the weapon already there? But either way, it's premeditated anyway. So,
would you like to do an entire show like Law and Order of this case? Because you sound like you got it all. Like you're like, what if she did this? You have a
lot of questions.
I didn't have that many. To me, it was transgender. A person was frustrated because her mother didn't want her to be transgender, and she killed her.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend, who was 6 years older than she
I understand 2 years. I can't even imagine what a person going through that transition or want to transition is going through, but mentally. But I mean, 2 more years, you're an adult. You can do whatever the hell you want, So
yeah, but I know what we were like at 16, dude. And it's just like, you don't know. You think you might, and I get it and whatever. But that was news story one. Yeah, we need to, like you always talk about mental health. Let's talk about it. And not just because she was trans, but because she killed people.
Yeah.
And if you're trans and you're suffering that badly inside and you're that age,
something's wrong.
First off, I think something's wrong. But second off, I think you've also maybe been indoctrinated and to think this is okay. And you're maybe exaggerating other stresses in your life. Maybe you're feeling pressure because you're not the prettiest girl, so maybe you want to be a boy. Yeah, I'm just throwing something out there. Or
I just
bullied at school.
What was the end game? Like, she had known, I'm going to shoot these 2 people dead.
Yeah,
I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. So how does that really help things out?
So mental health, we need to be aware of it. There's multiple stories about. It's not just trans. Obviously, people. I get it. But this case and a couple other cases recently have been kids and young adults who are trans. So that's that story. Story number 2.
You're already laughing.
Yeah, this is one where I'm going to laugh at first, and then I'm going to not laugh. People yell at us for laughing at death, right, Trey?
Yeah.
We've been yelled at. How dare you? This person died. Well, and we've always said what? If you die a funny way,
we're going to laugh.
We're going to laugh. And this guy, I think, qualifies, but it is sad, and we'll get to that at the end. In Zambia, Africa. We should know. We were over in Africa. Zambia, there's a pastor, Christian pastor in Zambia, named James Sakara.
Very Christian.
And he was only 22.
Oh shit.
22. It was the same as the boyfriend. If you're 22, take shelter for a couple days. In the town of Chadiza.
I've summered there before, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably just like Chadiza, and I'm like butchering it. So he convinced his congregation at church that he would be able to recreate the resurrection of Christ.
Interesting.
And so he had, 3 volunteers. Everyone else was like, what's wrong with this guy? I guess. 3 volunteers tied his hands and his feet and buried him in the dirt.
Did those 3 volunteers say, hold my beer before this? I want to do this.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. They had to have. Guess what happened?
Died?
3 days later, when they uncovered him, he was dead.
Yeah, no shit.
He did not resurrect like Jesus did.
Now, those 3 guys that buried him, are they on the run right now?
You're good. Hold on. God damn it. I'm trying my best here, Trey. Trey's too good at these stories. First off, but when they dug him up and they realized he was dead, they attempted spiritual rituals.
I would have buried his ass right back. Come on, Mike. I didn't.
Yeah. Let's get the fuck out of here. But they tried rituals to wake him up in case he was just. And so one turned himself in.
Noble.
2 of them ran. They're on the run, and they haven't found him yet.
Yeah.
The sad part to this, and this is where it kind of hit me, was that he left behind his stupidity. Left behind a pregnant wife.
Oh shit.
And that child will never know its father because he's an idiot. What an idiot. I don't, look, Christians believe in resurrection and this. You're not Jesus. What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
And you left behind a wife and a baby. I'm laughing because I just picture this guy going, bury me, and he's getting ready and he's all pumped up. Did he really think, or was it like some sort of undercover suicide? Did he really think he was going to survive this?
Did somebody speak to him to say, let's do this?
And what about these 3 assholes? Did they really believe that?
So I said, hold my beer. They're like, let's try this shit out.
And when they dug him up, were they like, oh, we can't wait to see him again? Tell him the score of the game. Like,
Dave's a crazy motherfucker.
So anyway.
Things he has us do. What was his name again?
James.
James is a crazy motherfucker.
James, Zambia. James.
Yeah.
It's a Zambian name. There is a Bulgarian woman known as Baba Vanga.
Okay.
Her real name is Evangelia Pendeva Gosharova.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, right?
I think I saw her profile on Tinder one time.
Didn't you go to middle school?
That's why I didn't click right.
That's right. You knew her. You knew she had issues.
Her mustache has really come along nicely, though. Anyway.
The big thing was that she is she's known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, which is, that area over there. Ukraine and all that bullshit.
Okay.
All that bullshit. In case anybody's listening, I love Eastern Europe. Romania, all those.
Yeah.
She died in 1996, but she predicted 9/11. She predicted the war in Ukraine when it started, and she nailed them both.
No shit.
And she died in 96, so she predicted ahead of time.
Wow.
So people are at least paying attention. So she left her predictions.
Oh, shit.
And humanity will be wiped out by 5079, so we're good.
Okay.
Unless something crazy happens in science. But we'll begin the apocalyptic demise next year, 2025. Yeah, boy. Check it out. 2025, devastation of Europe by internal conflict. I don't know if the Russia-Ukraine counts or whatever. Okay. 2028, humans are anticipated to begin exploring Venus as an energy source. That's not far. That's 4 years from now. We're going to go to Venus? She may be a little off there. 2033, the polar ice caps will melt. Here we go again. Leading to sea levels rising rapidly. 2076, so we're skipping like 40 years. Communism will spread across the globe and finally win.
Wow.
2130, humans are anticipated to make contact with aliens. 2170, 40 years after that, a drought will occur in most parts of the earth. We've had that in Texas every summer.
Wait, we just had a rise in water. Now it's going to drought? Where'd all the water go?
Things are messed up.
Holy shit.
Disappeared.
Just evaporates?
In 3005, so, 3005.
3005.
3005. Earth will engage in war with a civilization from Mars.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? I want to see that movie.
Yeah. What if Will Smith's going to be in there?
3797. Humans will evacuate the Earth as it becomes uninhabitable.
Holy shit.
And she doesn't say where they go, but in 5079, the world will just come to an end.
Damn.
Now, you can look at that and say, really? But she nailed a couple. She also said 2023 was going to have some sort of nuclear thing, and it didn't happen. So
I was about to say, has she called anything that was wrong?
That was the only one.
That was the only one?
It was 2023.
Was there any other big ones that she called, or even minor ones?
Nothing that I saw that was big enough to be debunked. These were the main ones. So just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Just something to keep an eye on.
Wow.
Many are skeptical because of the documentation was not. It wasn't.
It was in crayon instead of pen.
Right. She kind of drew the pictures or something. I don't know. But I know the last time we did a story about the end of the world, and it was like 250 billion years from now, and you were like, well, we're good.
We'll be all right.
But now, next year, the apocalypse is starting to happen.
Wow.
According to this chick. So good for Baba Vanga, and hopefully she's a dumb shit.
Man, that would have been cool if she could have called the election.
That'd be awesome.
That would be creepy.
Well, I mean, there have been people that have predicted it like 8 times in a row or something. Like, they've nailed it over the years. But so that's that. Let's move on to what we need to get to tonight. We have to.
Let me pull my phone back up.
Trey and I have done a good job recently with the help of a gentleman who will yet to be named until he wants to be, who's helping us with production and
I was
helping,
like, who the fuck is this?
helping to produce the show. And he's done a great job for us, and we're very appreciative. And so we're kind of caught up on current events. We were giving you a current event, and then 12 days later, you were hearing the show going.
Old.
That was so 12 days ago. And now they're getting out a little quicker. But what has happened in the last couple of days? The last show we talked a bit about, or it might have been 2 shows ago, Trey, but we all know there was an election, a presidential debate. The first one, correct?
Debate, yes.
We all saw what happened.
Yes.
This is not because Trey and I, for the last couple of months, if not longer, have made fun of Joe Biden. We predicted it, as did many. It's not just us. But did we or did we not say that Biden was going to be embarrassed? We said
Embarrassing, yeah.
And embarrassing to the country. And he was, and he still is. Go check out our YouTube or any social media I've put up. He was given a speech at NATO yesterday, and he introduced the Ukrainian President Zelensky as President Putin, his mortal enemy, the one that everybody's scared of. He also was asked about Vice President Kamala Harris's qualifications if he should not be president and she would be the front runner. And he said, "I chose Vice President Trump for a reason. She's qualified to be vice president."
Oh shit!
You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that one. Holy shit!
Yeah, and that was all in the same event at NATO. So this guy, this isn't just people go, well, he's got a stutter. This isn't a fucking stutter, people. And
he's got a stutter.
And that's what people say. He's got a stutter, or
cold.
Trump lies, and we debunked that last episode where I told you that both of them lied, and they're both embellishing things. The Democrats are in a panic right now. They don't know what to do. They don't know whether to kick him out or whatever. The big issue now, the talking point, Trey. Have you heard what the talking point of this week is for the Democrats?
Is this the 2025?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There is something called Project 2025. Mm-hmm. And I will make this fast because people that listen to us, they want the basics, right?
Yeah, I want the basics too.
We want the basics. You're going to get the basics. Project 2025 is something that it's called the Heritage Foundation. And it was a blueprint for what's considered the far right. Like you and I always talk about the far left being on the woke and the big pussies, which they are. The far right, in their own way, have issues of their own. Okay, it's a little extreme. There probably is some racism tied in. There's some other things tied in on the far right, super Christian, to where it's, I hate to say equally because, man, those woke people are just whatever. Like and subscribe if you're woke, and then yell at us. But the Heritage Foundation came up with this, and it was 900 pages, apparently. And Trump has gone ahead and distanced himself from this. And he's like, this isn't mine. I'm not doing this. Some of the stuff in this is absolutely abysmal. And what it is it's this idea that as soon as the presidential shift goes back to the Republicans, they're going to implement a plan to kind of like wipe clean all of the left, the liberal, the Democrat policies, and let's just do it, knock it all out at once and implement this. And we're going to have fun here, Trey. How about that? People are claiming that Donald had ties to it because he gave a speech at the Heritage Foundation like 3 years ago.
So what's the Heritage Foundation made up of? Is it like senators and congressmen and like how did this That's a good question. And I did have it here, and I'm surprised I didn't give it to you. The Heritage Foundation was formed in 1973. The idea was that it was politicians that formulated, and not just politicians, wealthy, George Soros for the Democrats. He's kind of a guy that throws money at everything for their policies. Okay, this is kind of that guys like that, donors, gotcha. Big donors. Okay, and they're promoting and formulating conservative policies is what they're claiming. So this group feels like they can use the Republican president, right, or whatever as a puppet, basically.
Right. The Republican Party is more aligned with what they want than obviously the other side.
Do they know Donald Trump?
Well, yeah, like I said, he gave a speech to the Heritage Foundation a long time ago, and that's why everybody's like, see, he's a part of it. Well, no, he didn't know they were doing this.
Gotcha.
According to him, look, guys, Donald Trump isn't infallible. I'm not claiming that, But I believe the guy. I mean, he's up there saying, I have a different agenda, no pun intended, that's called Agenda 47. And we'll get to that in a second, which makes sense. It's very basic. It's very simple. It's what he's been campaigning on. And it's the reason that I'm going to vote for him. And I think the reason you're going to vote for him. And it's basic. We'll get there. So I'm going to give you the main talking points of this. People are, if Project 2025 gets in, our whole country is now a dystopia, which means, do you know what dystopia? You're looking at me funny.
Oh, there's a lot of starving dystopians in Africa.
My God.
No? Is that not what you're talking about?
We apologize to our African listeners at this point. No, that is Ethiopia. I think that's what you meant. Dystopia is the worst thoughts about the way our society can be run in an individual mind. Your dystopia might not be mine. You might think that the way the world works, that would be hell. And I'd be like, that's awesome. It's individual, and that's what people don't understand, especially on the left, is that they're sitting there, this will be dystopia. Well, to who? To you? Because you don't like whatever? And I'm not I'm not backing Project 2025 at all. Even Donald came out and said, this is abysmal. Some of this bullshit is crazy. I'm not doing this. And they're all like, he's lying. That's all they have, Trey, right now.
Gotcha.
I don't blame them. That's all they got. Because Biden's an embarrassment. We'll get there. So what I'm going to do is let's have some fun. Here are the main points to Project 2025, and I'm going to ask you whether you think that they are over the top, outlandish, or whether you think, what's the big deal?
This should be fun.
Number one is consolidate executive power. What that means is give the president more power, kind of like a king.
No,
I agree. You got to have checks and balances.
Yeah.
We established this country with 3 groups.
But are the checks and balances idiots too, you know?
Well, sure. They're all idiots up there. The reason that Donald wouldn't be involved with that is because the whole point is he keeps wanting to give power to the states.
Right.
So why would he be in support of this anyway? He doesn't want that power. Now they're claiming he does. They're saying he's just full of shit.
Yeah.
This is their argument. Everything that he says is wrong. Everything he says is a lie. Second, replacing federal workers with only people who align with Republican policies. So you're basically looking and you're going through the government and any federal government worker and saying, oh, you're a Democrat?
You're out.
You're out.
Does he even have the power to do that?
But that's if they implement it, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
This is their goal.
Okay.
Of Project 2025.
Gotcha.
Sounds pretty ridiculous.
That's far-fetched, yeah.
That's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
I don't like bipartisanism as much as anybody. I don't like Republicans and Democrats. We've talked about it. I'm tired of the division. Tired of spitting at each other and going, you're a Democrat, you're a bitch. You're a Republican, you're a bitch.
I mean, we're all Americans, right?
Yeah, we're all bitches.
One way or another.
One way or another. Third, Christian nationalist plan. Basically, it's undermining the separation of church and state. I don't agree with that, right?
Right.
The idea was that we were not. This country was founded on Christianity. We know that, but it wasn't. The idea was that other religions, you could have a freedom of religion.
Right. Right.
My problem right now is that Christian people who helped mainly establish this country are the ones that are kind of being shit on, and we're catering to other religions. Muslim people will come here and be in a city, and we go, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's great. Let's respect their religion. For schools, for this, they walk around. I'm not sure I quite understand the burqas, the full gear that they wear, but it's not up to me to understand.
That's just not for rain, right?
It's not just for rain, I don't believe. Maybe.
Isn't that what a parka is?
It's a parka. And this is a burqa.
Okay.
I wonder if they would sell... never mind. So we respect them and we cater to that, and all of a sudden we forget about the Christians. It's like we don't want a policy based on Christianity, but you're willing to say, let's all we can't offend the Muslims, and it's so to me, church and state separation it needs to be equal for everybody.
I would say so. Yeah.
So we're no's on all the first three, right? So this is where I think I might be on board with one of them. Supports fossil fuel production. All these climate change peeps, and again, I'm not against researching it. Let's research it. Let's clean our oceans up. Let's not litter. Fine. But fossil fuel, we're sitting over it. It's under our country. It's a gold mine, and it's just the electric cars are sitting next to generators. It's not. We haven't figured it out yet. So why not utilize fossil fuels? That's all I'm saying. And so basically, they're saying it reduces climate change regulations and the funding they want to cut for all the climate change the way it is right now. That's a tricky one for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I got to understand that better.
Okay. Fossil fuels. Everyone, we're going to do 15 minutes on fossil fuels. Now, fossil fuels are basically what the climate change people and the people that want a clean environment are against because of emissions.
But fossil fuels are natural? I mean,
they're under our grounds. And Donald Trump has continued to say, hey, they're here. We have them. We could be how did he put it? Independent. We could be energy independent versus dependent on getting it from somewhere else.
Gotcha.
It's right here. But because of all these other things, we're not. And that's part of it. So that's the only one so far that I'm kind of like, I'll talk. We can talk about that.
I'll look into that.
Yeah. You're going to let us know in the next show?
That's a big one.
That's a big one. All right. How about let's start talking about our favorite topic, abortion. Abortion would not be considered health care. I'm not opposed to that in the sense that I don't think I should have to pay for your abortions with my tax dollars. So if you go into a clinic, it shouldn't be covered. It's your responsibility. You're the one choosing to have it. How do you feel about that?
So I guess you're saying as far as people that don't have the insurance that would have to figure out how to have it paid for?
Well,
because I would assume if you have insurance, it'd be covered, right?
But I think that's one way, but it shouldn't. But who's paying this and that and whatever? What about Planned Parenthood?
How's that funded?
Tax dollars.
Really?
And that's the problem, is it's federal money that goes to them. And that's been the big argument, is that if you take it away from Planned Parenthood, which does a lot of great things for moms, for pregnant moms, but it's not, abortion shouldn't be one of them, is what people are saying.
Interesting.
And so as long as my tax dollars aren't paying for your abortions, then that changes things. But this is like, no, big time. This eliminates coverage of emergency contraception and prosecutes those who send or receive abortion pills or like contraception. I'm definitely not on board on that. You should be able to use contraception. Why not? Abortion pills, you can't. I don't think you put the two in the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think? I mean, you can't. Somebody uses a condom and you're arrested. Fuck that.
I mean, I guess, ultimately, I feel like women should be able to do whatever they want with their bodies. I guess depending on, if they're going to have a certain term that they're not allowed to do it, then maybe that's where it comes into play, where you're not going to use our tax dollars to do it. I don't know. That's crazy. That's an interesting one. So that's hard to say.
Have you thought about that before with the tax dollars?
I have not. No.
Yeah,
no,
and that's my only issue. I mean, well, not my only issue. I think that again, there's a gray area here.
Yeah,
and that's one of them. Is that, look, it's your responsibility, and if you think you made a mistake or you're not willing to have the child, why the hell am my dollars going there? And that's a big difference between government spending on one side versus the other. Some on one side, the left wanted to spend there, and the right saying "fuck you." And it's interesting, but to prosecute people who abortion pills, it depends on the state law.
They sell those in the grocery stores, right?
I think so. Isn't like Plan B
in there
technically kind of like that?
Yeah.
But that's maybe like a what if. That's not, you don't know you're pregnant. You're
Right.
just like,
Just if
I'm
something
going to make
slipped,
sure.
yeah. Make sure one didn't
The
get
condom,
past the goalie.
the condom broke.
Right.
But condoms and other contraception being illegal is, in my opinion, ridiculous. So
Or
again,
just anal, you definitely don't have to worry about.
maybe that's
pregnant.
maybe that's what Project 2025 is it just wants everybody to have anal.
Right. The big A, abstinence. No anal.
It's not abstinent. Yeah, they're like it. You guys think we mean abstinence? No,
No.
We mean a little anal.
Yeah.
Criminalizing Trey is immediately out on this. He is anti Project 2025. Criminalizing pornography.
Oh, hell no. I mean, I can't even get onto it now. I mean, come on.
You haven't got a login yet?
I have to get a DVD player just so I can go watch porn again.
DVD player. You got to just get a login and a
A
password.
VPN.
You're fine.
Yeah. Maybe I'll borrow a buddy's VPN access. See if he'll let me use this.
It's like Netflix. Everybody's sharing. They can't keep track. Here's a big one. Removes protections against discrimination for sexual identity, gender, that whole thing.
Removes protections. What does it mean?
Protections against discrimination. So
Oh, against discrimination.
for works,
So
for
that
jobs,
means they're allowed to
for work.
discriminate?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Because as a business owner, and I there are times, people, calm down, hold on, let me finish. There are times where there are business owners that are private that should be able to hire whoever they want. There are other times when you can't discriminate. I get that.
No, I don't completely agree with that. I think
Okay.
if you own a business, regardless how big it is, I think you have the right to hire who you want, but you also have to deal with whatever backlash that brings you, So I think you can hire whoever you want and have that freedom, but
If you have a company with 12 employees and you're running a shop that sells something and you guys are boxing it up and sending it out. I'm just throwing something out there. And you personally, this is not true, people, but say you don't like anybody but white people. And you wanted to hire 12 white people just because you're more comfortable that way. As the owner, should you be allowed to do that?
I think so.
And see, that's the thing is I don't, and same with a black owned shop. When we're going through now, I'm seeing signs on shops, black owned. Well, good for you. Like
I'm not going to go in there and just to try to see, okay, I'm going to see if they're going to hire me. I'm not going to go into Hooters or one of those restaurants and say, okay, let me try to beat this.
that didn't work out for you when you
right.
did.
But I mean, let's say, Target was in the news for a bunch of shit. Let's say, you know what? We're only going to hire black people from now on out at all of our stores. Okay, cool. Do that. That's your stance. Sweet. Now, if nobody ever shops at Target again because of that particular stance, well, that's what Target has to deal with.
Right.
But they should have the right to hire whoever the fuck they want.
Right. It's like sports and the Rooney Rule and all these things. You have to interview a certain amount of coaches that are black, and I just believe in individual business. And if you're a cake shop, is one of the examples that doesn't want to make a cake for a gay couple, it's up to you. But guess what? You're probably going to lose some business.
Right. So I think
you may be considered an asshole.
Yeah, they should do whatever they feel.
That's their right. The other one, though, with the discrimination protection is diversity, equality, and inclusion. The stuff we talk about with those videos, out the window.
Yeah.
And affirmative action is no longer. It's gone.
Interesting.
I don't disagree with affirmative action, but at the same time, it's been around for quite a while, and I'd like to see it maybe modified a bit to either motivate or something, because it's not working. How about this? People can be prosecuted for anti-white racism. So now you know how it's hate crimes. But guess what? It's very rare that you would see somebody prosecuted for anti-white. If 4 black dudes attacked a white person and yelled, white, get out of our neighborhood.
So that's not looked at as a hate crime?
Well, I mean, it should be, but it seems to be kind of lost in it's just look the other way. And this is all part of this white straight male thing that you and I have talked about before, where we're enemy number one, and people say that's bullshit. But I don't disagree completely. I feel like people will tell us that we have it easy. I can tell you that I don't have it easy in life. I'm dealing with stuff. Everyone deals with stuff. If you mean I walk out the door and I'm looked at and someone goes, well, he's white male. Well, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do about that?
Yeah.
Next, arrest, detention, deportation of undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. Fine with it.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with that.
There you go. So there's one. That's the easiest one. You've got to be legal. We got to find a way to get everybody and secure the borders. Lastly, capital punishment, which you and I disagreed on last time, and the military are allowed to help the police, which is really interesting. So if there's a police situation, you can like deploy army
military
in there.
Wow.
So that's their thing. But capital punishment, we won't get into it again because of time, but that's one you and I disagreed on. I'm okay with it, and you didn't disagree with it. You just thought it was, or you informed me that it was more expensive to do that.
Yeah,
and I didn't first off believe it. I believe you because you have a criminal justice degree, but second off, you also thought you wanted people to kind of suffer. You didn't want it to be quick and painful. I just want people that could do heinous crimes out of here. And I don't think that either of us are wrong in that. We both don't.
I want them to get their due justice.
You want their due justice, and so that's basically the gist of Project 2025.
Interesting.
It's intense. There are a lot of things in there that seem a little like holy shit, and that's why people are saying, if you go on social media, oh my God, we have to protect our country. We're going to go into a dystopian world if Trump is elected. Well, no, we're not, because Trump is saying he's not doing this.
Yeah.
He disavowed it. That's some of this stuff is crazy. Just because this group put it together and is releasing it doesn't mean he's going to go with it.
Right.
There may be elements that he looks at, which gets me to this. Agenda 47. That's what he's claiming. And I'll go through this quickly because...
Isn't that the chemical they used to make red starbursts?
I think that's where he was inspired for the name.
Okay.
Curious. The red starburst?
Or it was a Skittles. That's what it was.
Red Skittles. Not the purple Skittles,
cancer?
not the...
That's a cancer-causing chemical, isn't it?
Agenda 47?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we do a story on that?
I think we did.
About Skittles.
One of the colors.
In California was...
Yeah.
Which color? I forget.
I don't remember. Was it green?
Look, all I know is I'm proud of Skittles because they brought back lime for green. Fuck Apple. It was Apple. They changed it to Apple, and I boycotted Skittles. Anyway, no one gives a shit, but I do.
I do.
I care. You do?
Yeah.
Did you like Apple?
I didn't really eat Skittles much. I'm more of a chocolate guy, so I just wanted to let you know
like
I
Apple?
cared with you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
There was a player that used to be called AK-47, played for the Jazz. Andrei Kirilenko, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big 3-point shooter, wasn't
he? Is that Trump's where he got the name from?
Maybe he was a Kirilenko fan.
Maybe.
Although Kirilenko sounds Russian, and everybody will say, "Oh, it's because of Putin." Blah blah.
Okay.
In case you missed that, blah, blah, blah. Agenda 47, really fast.
Hit it.
This is Trump's. This is what he's saying. Seems pretty simple. Economic growth, job creation, tax cuts. Would you like to have your tax cuts?
World peace and hunger.
Deregulation to stimulate the economy. So, economic growth, right? Immigration reform, which we just talked about, strengthening our border and giving them support at the border and security. Simple enough. And getting and deporting the illegal immigrants.
Right.
Okay? Energy independence. Okay, so kind of the same. Domestic energy products, fossil fuels, utilizing that. And being not dependent on other countries. Healthcare. He wants to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare. He believes in free market principles, which I believe in, meaning you should be able to choose your own damn doctor. You can't do it under Obama.
That'd be nice.
You can't do it under Obamacare. He wanted to do it when he was in the first term, but it's more complicated. I admit I don't know a lot about healthcare. Education. He wants to expand school choice and reduce the federal involvement in education. I don't know exactly what that means, and so that's the only one I'm a little. It's not just me. It's not just you. That's the only one I'm kind of like, all right, look, and that's what a lot of people are saying. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education. I don't think he wants to get rid of it completely. I think he wants to reform it. I think he wants to maybe get the government out of it as much as possible, and we'll keep an eye on that one. Lastly, foreign policy. America first. Seems simple enough. Let's not give all our damn money to Ukraine. Simple enough. U.S. interest in international trade and dealing. I've been saying this. He's a business guy.
You have been saying this.
He's not going to be bent over. He's not. Somebody in another country is not going to take advantage of us financially. We're going to save a lot of money.
You're not going to pour a margarita down his butt.
Trump will not have a frozen margarita. Is he a frozen guy? He doesn't drink, but is he? He
would seem like he's on the rocks.
On the rocks, yeah. Oh yeah. Just because he wants to be like Bond or something on the rocks. Anyway.
Very dirty.
And so, look, I'm all for it. People go, oh, he doesn't have a good relationship with world leaders. Well, who cares? I will tell you this, Trey. Some of the best leaders, some of the best coaches, best generals in the military have been assholes.
Yeah.
But they've been respected. And I guarantee you, people on the left will say he's not respected. But I tell you what, he goes out there and he doesn't mess around internationally. Where now we have a ragdoll that walks out there. These guys can do whatever they want. And so that's my thought on international. So that's it. That's Trump's agenda. All those things, the education thing, I'm not quite sure about. I'll look into it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that's great because I don't know.
Yeah, report back to me on that one.
But I'll call you tomorrow, like when I wake up and research it right away. Don't expect that call.
Okay.
What do you think? I mean, pretty basic.
Pretty basic, yeah. Also very vague, though.
Well, it's vague, but I've never heard a president go in a debate like, I'm going to fix the border. And this is exactly how I'm going to do it. Like, it just doesn't. We know Trump wanted to do a wall. We know Trump wants, you can guess. More troops, more support, more this. The checkpoints are stricter. If you're caught, you're not detained, you're deported. I mean, things like that, you can guess. So those are the two things, but what I'm tired of is hearing this whole Project 2025 being tied to Trump. And it's being talked about, and that's all you're seeing. You go up and down social media, and that's it. So I wanted to address that. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of go through the points. So anybody that didn't know what that was, you got kind of the basics from us. If you want to dive in deeper, go for it. We're not, right?
So Agent 47, is that because he's the 47th, going to technically be the 47th president? Did I catch on to that?
You keep amazing me with your, with your brilliance.
I had to Google that.
I honestly, the other day, I kind of went, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know either. I just assumed he named it.
Huh, I was just sitting there thinking 47.
But that's what Agenda 47 is, what he's claiming. That's what he wants to do. There's a big list of things as well. I posted a few of them of just, what he wants to do. And to sit here and I just feel like the Democrats are in a little bit of a panic. Don't you? Do you feel that at all, or do you care?
Well, and I'm honestly hearing this back and forth about Biden, rumors of him stepping down, rumors of Kamala Harris, rumors of who would step in. And I'm just curious how that would make him look. Does that make him look better getting somebody stronger, or does that make him look more in disarray because they're having to get rid of somebody so, deep into this to try to replace him at this point? Does that make him look weaker? I just don't understand politics well enough to see which one's a benefit, because Biden right now is not a benefit for that party, but does replacing him make them look better? I don't know. So
I think you're right. I'm telling you what.
I just don't understand politics enough.
Look, this is like the fourth time you've amazed me in 2 shows.
Oh, I thought you were about to say since we started.
No, a little more than that, 6, 7 times.
Oh, okay.
But I agree 100%. I think that no matter what they do, they're in the word disarray I've been using, and
Gotcha.
you just used it. So good job. It no matter what, if they leave Biden in, they're fucked. If they take him out and put Kamala in, it still looks like they're scrambling.
Right.
It looks like they're panicking. And Kamala Harris, shut up, people. She sucks. She just does, literally. Ooh. Because that's, in case Trey, if you didn't know, she's had a reputation for rumors of blowing her way to the top, if you will.
Holy shit.
And she was a prosecutor in San Francisco, and she's a hypocrite. She would throw people behind bars, and now she's like, we need to be easier on our marijuana people. Well, how many people did she actually prosecute? Anyway,
That's never worked for me.
we could talk about Kamala if that happens. How about that? Let's not. She's not worth my time because I really do think
Would be a bad choice.
I think she's classless, and I think that especially if she became our first female president. I'm already mad enough that she's our first female vice president.
Yeah.
But if she becomes their choice, we'll talk about her. I don't think I think it'd be even. I think it'd be even worse. I think Trump would. But again, it's because they're in disarray, and it shows instability. It does not. It shows that they're panicking.
They're scrambling. Yeah.
Every couple of days, there's something new. Now it's Project 25. Trey and I gave you that. Trump says he's not a part of it. And you know what? I'll play devil's advocate. Even if he was, just because you don't agree with it, does it mean that like no one else can think it's good? I think it's extreme. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here at Stay in the Gray podcast, we are not supportive of Project 2025 in its full context.
Right.
I support Agenda 47 because I think it does some good things. We'll get back on the education.
Yeah.
But everything else
Yeah.
is good. So anyway, I just feel like, real fast, celebrities are calling for Biden to step down.
I heard about this.
This is what you were just talking about. What are they going to do? First off, why do we care what the celebrities think? Why do they care?
Yeah.
George Clooney comes out and he says this, makes this big statement. Who gives a shit about George Clooney? He lives in Italy.
Yeah.
He had one good TV show, ER, and did a couple of films, and Ocean's 11. That was pretty good.
11, 12,
He's all
13.
right.
Yeah.
He's okay, but who is he? Here's a list here. George Clooney, Rob Reiner, who I've already talked about. He's a director. Piece of shit. I don't like that guy. John Cusack. We all know him.
Yeah.
He's been a huge Biden guy, a huge anti-Trump guy. And that sucks because I like Cusack in his films. And he came out and even said it. Stephen King, who's been a huge Biden guy, anti-Trump guy, came out and said it. 17 Democrats in the House are like, Biden needs to step down. 1 in the Senate. And big party donors. Did you know that Disney is a huge Democrat donor? Canceling the Disney Plus channel for my kids tomorrow.
Well, who are all these folks saying step down?
Step
but
down.
who are they saying to step in?
Well, again,
Are they backing Kamala
they're
already?
not saying
or no?
that yet, but she's the. Let me one more. The Netflix. I wrote down Netflix douche. The guy that owns Netflix is a big donor for the Democrat Party, and they're not saying who. The problem with the Democrats is if they get anybody but Kamala, they lose all their funding. So all of their Democratic Party donor money is gone if they go with anybody other than Joe or Kamala.
Is there anybody that would bring a big bang?
Well, you got a couple guys. I mentioned Soros. I mentioned whatever. I don't know, but who do you go with? Michelle Obama? She's probably the only one that I think could have a chance in hell. And that would just be another 4 to 8 years of Barack. Honestly, he'll be behind the scenes.
You think she would have a shot?
I think
least
she'd have a
making
shot
a run?
because, I think she'd have a better shot than the other two idiots.
Gotcha.
He's Gavin Newsom, governor of California. He's a joke. I mean, look at California.
Yeah.
Everyone's leaving. Their streets are on fire.
Yeah.
They talked about him. They talked about a couple of people. No matter who they get, though, like you said, it's in disarray. People are still looking and going, this Trump trial was stupid. He got immunity. He's not going to be on trial for anything else until after the election.
Does Kennedy have any?
He left the Democratic Party and he's now an independent.
Right.
We're independent. I still feel like as of now that would be a wasted vote as an independent because it doesn't have enough steam to outdo.
Why is he not in the debates?
You have to have. There's certain qualifications you have to have.
Gotcha.
And he a certain percentage of something, and he didn't quite get it.
Gotcha.
I think he should be there. Back in the day, we were wee lads. Ross Perot was part of those debates, and he was fantastic. Little guy, cowboy hat. He just let him have it.
I remember Dana Carvey
doing the Ross Perot on Saturday Night Live. Well, he was probably the closest independent, if I remember correctly, to having a shot.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the deal right now. Is I would Kennedy. He's kind of weird though, but I like him, but I don't. I want to hear more, and I'd love to hear him during the debates. And,
that would be interesting.
But I thought Donald did a great job during the debate. Overall, he was calmer than he usually is, and Joe just, it's sad. I almost feel bad for him. I don't, you and I make fun of him for eating pudding and ice cream, but I think that's what he really does. He poops and he eats pudding and ice cream.
Well, I know Trump's come back out with a no holds barred debate. I mean, at this point, does Biden have to agree to another debate? Do you think it would help him in any way to do another debate, or?
That's good. I'm going to check the rules on that because what I believe is there's 3 debates.
Okay.
For every presidential election, and it's supposed to be a one with an audience. Although Joe asked for no audience, didn't seem to work. And then there's the second one supposed to be more of a town hall kind of feel, where it's just like 100 people, and you're in like a amphitheater bar. That'd be awesome, dude. Bar karaoke and shit. And that's in our decathlon. We're adding karaoke. We're gonna have what's the word for 20-a-thon? 20. We're gonna have 20 events.
Wow.
And in case you don't know what we're talking about, Trey and I believe that a decathlon is the proper way to elect a president. Not just a traditional. We're talking high dives, staring contests, paper, rock, scissors, game of war,
paper, rock, scissors
with the cards that could last hours.
100-yard dash.
100-yard dash, of course. Now that's probably the only one that's like a normal decathlon event.
Right.
Can you see him doing hurdles?
Throwing his walker over it.
What about the pole vault?
God.
Anyway, you get our point. Trey and I, we had a business idea, and no one's jumped on it yet. But we'll see. But the golf match, Donald has officially challenged. Did you see this?
I heard about this.
Officially challenged Joe to a golf match at Coral Gables, which is Trump's course. I don't know. Maybe he should have done it at an away course. And he said he'd give him 10 strokes a side. So that would be 20 strokes.
That's a lot of strokes.
And if Biden covered that or won, then Donald would donate $1 million to the charity of Joe's choice.
Wow. Why not do it just for that?
Because Joe can't walk, much less swing a golf club. I would do anything to see that golf match.
Man.
Even my wife, who hates golf and hates me golfing and hates everything about it, was like, I would sit here and watch that all day with margaritas. Like, it would be a party.
Oh, yes.
I think they should have to ride in the same cart.
That would be great. Yes.
So anyway, many ideas Trey and I have. If only we could just have some funding back up.
Yes. Wow.
So anybody that wants to invest in our ideas. So that's that. We'll see. We'll see who they pick. I don't think it's going to be Joe. I just don't. I think he continues to fuck himself. They're panicking again because at NATO he'd said all these things.
Yeah, Putin was vice president.
Putin was
Trump was
Zelensky was Putin, and Trump was the vice president. And it's not just a stutter, people.
When's the election again? Do they have time to switch?
November. Yeah, they can do it whenever. So the big thing was he was going to have an interview with George Stephanopoulos. Believe it or not, that's an actual name.
Is that the guy from
Sesame Street?
Seinfeld?
No. No, George. Is that George? Is that his name?
George
something. Costanza. That's Costanza.
Oh.
Stephanopoulos sounds like the big elephant guy. But he was supposed to have an interview with him, and then they were supposed to do he did a press conference. Well, everyone's like, he killed it at the press conference. Oh, you mean when in front of people that love him and a few people with questions that were predetermined, and
At that, didn't he say he wasn't going to do a cognitive test and all that? Why not? Why just do it? Shut people up if you're good, you know?
Well, he knows. Everybody knows. People go, Trump needs to take a narcissist test. Well, you know what? You can be a narcissist and president, but I'm more uncomfortable if you have dementia.
Yeah.
So that's that. Celebrities are calling for it. More gaffes every day from Joe. Man, this is getting interesting. The Democrats, look, Trey and I went into this thing. If you listen back to shows from earlier in 2024, we're just talking about Joe eating pudding, we're laughing, or whatever, and we called it.
I'm curious to know how other countries think about us, what they think about us right now.
Well, they're laughing. I mean, I've talked to multiple people. I say multiple, 3 or 4 people that don't live in this country who are like, what the hell is going on? And most of them are like, well, why can't you guys get anybody that's really, these are your 2 people?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going, that was really embarrassing for Joe.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like we called it. We've said it over and over again. Joe isn't capable. He eats pudding. He chases ice cream trucks. And sure enough, I don't think we were far off.
Not at all.
I did not. I expected a little bit at the debate, but not that. That was crazy. And so I'm going to go ahead and claim that Trey and I know politics.
Jill needs to throw the white flag in for him.
There's a white flag, and that's the other issue. Jill's not doing it. I think she probably should. But I would be surprised. I'll predict it right now that it's not. I would be surprised if it's Joe. He keeps saying he's in. He's not going to go anywhere. But I'd be surprised if they don't force him out.
I say, but does he know what he's saying he's in for?
Yeah, I'm in for a game of checkers.
For some backgammon
in the home with my pudding. What do you think? You think he's in or out? Who's going to be the final? Is it Joe or the field?
I feel like it's the field.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only way the Democrats have a shot is with some young new face that just comes out of nowhere.
I agree. You have to sacrifice all that money, and you have to Kamala get her out of there, Joe out of there, and have somebody come in and just kind of like just blow everybody away.
Yeah.
And almost sweep people off their feet. That's the only way, in my opinion. We're calling it, right?
Be louder than Trump.
I like it.
Yeah.
Be louder than Trump.
That's possible.
It would just be smart. That's how you beat Trump. Be articulate. Be smart. Be willing to stand up, in my opinion, to the woke. Stand up to the far left.
Yes. And
say we need to get a hold of this also, and that's what nobody's been willing to do. Get a hold of that, and you'll get a lot more people that come and go, I'm listening.
I think
right now,
huge, yeah.
If you're the people are unwilling to admit that there's a problem with the woke and the offended and the people burning the cities down and the looting, and everybody's afraid to talk about it because they'll be viewed as racist or they'll be viewed as something else.
Maybe we should run as the Democratic Party candidate.
Tell you what, our friend of the show who wrote the music, he said he'd vote for the Layfield Nielsen ticket.
Really?
So maybe that's a sign we should go. Can you imagine us? Anyway,
I can't.
On that note, let's go ahead and wrap it up. So that's it. Hopefully, Trey and I helped anybody that had a project 2025 and an Agenda 47 question. That's the basics. You don't need to know more than that unless you want to. And if you do, go look it up. That's all we want to know.
Yeah, I'll have to go look it up.
I didn't give you enough. You fucker. So on that note, I'm going to give you an end quote and we're out of here. This end quote is the way that this is what we've been talking about. Politics, life, general, laughing again, comedians. And so I saw it and I just went with it. Last time the show was funny. This one's not. So be ready to really think about things.
I'm ready.
All right, here's the quote, and then we'll see you guys next time. We live in a time where the intelligent people are being silenced so that stupid people won't be offended.
Oh.
I love that one, don't you?
It must be why I don't talk very much. I get it.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oops.
Oh.
Love you guys.
Later.
No bias. bias here, just the facts and the fair. We look at both sides, do our best to compare. In this podcast realm where we compromise, balance is key and the facts don't lie. Stay in the grave where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride.
Hey, when you look at me like that.
I have expectations of what you're going to say.
I can't think of anything right now. Still trying to figure out the whole margarita thing in the funnel in a restaurant.
I feel like you've been thinking about that the whole time. I forgot to give a shout out, by the way. She's probably not going to listen, but her name is Milena. She's Polish, and she interacts with us on Facebook. She loves us. We have like this huge Polish fan. She talks about the show. She's like, I liked when you said this. So Milena, we love you.
You just lost her.
And it was fun while it lasted. Love you guys.
Later.